I won't need 3 minutes, but I can talk forever in the right situation. I want to say hello to Reverend Burton, as he's in the house, and I got some staff here as well. But we are, I've been in St. Louis County for 2.5 years, and my whole wish, goal, work has always been to try to work with young people who are most impacted by our system, which to me are those kids who are referred to our court in St. Louis County. And in particular, on the delinquency side is our African American males. By far, those kids are the most disproportionate kids referred to our system. And we're doing what we can within our authority and power to try to keep those kids from going deeper into our system. So when we talk about the commitment to DYS and the certification where kids are certified to stand trial as an adult, those numbers are decreasing. Largely because our staff do a lot to try to look for alternative options for kids outside of those more serious outcomes for kids. But that's a push that we really pushed our staff to make those kind of efforts. Before we would see the offense and we would commit to DYS. Before we would see the offense and we would certify to stand trial as an adult. Those numbers are down. Last year we certified 1 youth, which for a serious offense. Prior to that, we were certifying 15, 16 youth. And mostly those kids were African American males. So in the state of Missouri, those, as I think the information was brought up, those numbers are going down. But the disparities aren't going down. And so we're doing what we can to look at those numbers, but and I'll tell you, I'll reach out to our community because it ain't just my job. It's a community effort that needs to take place because when you bring me a youth who commits a serious offense, I've got to figure out what I need to do with that person within the realms of that options I have. And unfortunately, sometimes those serious offenses commit murders and those things. And so I reach out to my staff, my partners in my community and say, help me fight this problem. I'm trying to be more proactive than reactive to a lot of these situations. So I look at this as a job that is not my job. It's really our community's job to make sure that this thing works the way it should. So thank you.
And now I would like to invite to the podium Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner.
First of all, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to be here. This conversation is very complex and tough, especially for prosecutors like me and Mr. Bell, because we're not over the juvenile system. I don't know if you guys know that. That's a court-run system. But when we look at range to age and many issues that we deal with, I, as a circuit attorney, look at crime as a public health crisis. We look at crime on a continuum, and we have to look at the root causes of what drives young people to commit that crime. Most individuals are victims today, perpetrators tomorrow. That's why I brought services within my office to address the trauma-informed counseling, to address the victimization, to address how we attack crime from being proactive. That's why, as a circuit attorney, we are in 3 schools. We're in Walbridge, Yateman, and Carnahan to prevent those young people from making those bad decisions, to be in any system. And we have to look at this approach because we can always prosecute individuals and hold people accountable, which we do when you're committing the violent acts. But we have to save young people. Many young people we deal with are homeless and they have issues. If we give people love and care and concern, we found in our diversion programs, which span from 17 to 25, youthful offenders, misdemeanor redirect, which does not have any age, felony redirect. It addresses the root causes and everyone has an individual plan. And we found that we have less recidivism, people being whole, families being made whole, victims are being made whole because we are paying back restitution 100% in these programs. So we have to look at how we can heal our communities and prevent the next most violent act. And I think alternatives are important, but at the same time, strengthening our prosecutions to focus on violent and serious individuals and those crime drivers. So that's what we're doing in the Circuit Attorney's Office. We look forward to working with everybody who's in this space, but it's a multi-layered approach as well as solutions. So thank you.
Thank you again, Ms. Gardner. We would like to invite to the podium now County Prosecutor Wesley Bell.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So first and foremost, we have to treat children like children. I don't think you got me on that. So we have to treat our children like children. And I'll start off by saying I'm an educator first. I started coaching youth sports at 19, coaching at the St. Louis Montreal Institute at UMSL. I headed the Criminal Justice Department at St. Louis Community College for 8 years. And so my work has been about connecting our young people with opportunities. And that's not going to change as a prosecutor. So whether it be as a municipal court judge, whether it be as a professor, whether it be as prosecutor, if I get elected dog catcher one day, it's going to focus on young people. That's just something that we have to do. And when we came into office, one thing that we wanted to look at is we wanted to make sure, in addition to expanding diversionary programs to divert individuals out of the criminal justice system, we want to make sure that they have those wraparound services that they need. Because if you give an individual treatment but they don't have housing, or they don't have a livable wage-paying job, guess what? The recidivism rates continue to shoot up for those individuals. And that includes our young people. Because like Circuit Attorney Gardner said, a lot of the crime drivers are drugs, are mental health, and those things go undiagnosed. And one thing that we know about our penitentiaries is they do not do a good job of rehabilitating people, right? So with the work of our partners, what we looked to do was implement policies that keep people who don't need to see the inside of a jail out of the jail. So with CD&E felonies, including misdemeanors that don't involve violence, we're not issuing warrants, we're issuing summons. So the individual can continue in their job, they can continue in their home, because most of us don't have jobs that'll wait for you if you don't show up for a few weeks, right? When the rent is due, it has to be paid, or you're not going to have a house, right? So if it's a nonviolent offense or a low-level offense where this individual does not pose a threat to the community, we want to keep them out and keep them in the community, because that has been proven to increase the likelihood that they will not reoffend. And so as a result, in 10 months, I'm really proud of the work with all of our partners. We've reduced the jail population of low-level offenders by 22%. Like that pledge, we're going to hold you to it, because those things make us safer. But in a quick little blurb, people say, well, you're letting people out. That must mean the crime rate's going up. But the crime rates aren't going up. Right. And what we're doing is getting people back to their jobs, keeping them in their homes and things of that nature. But we need you to talk that up for us. Okay? So I'm just reminding you of that pledge, and I'm supposed to stop right now, so I'm going to do that. Thank you so much.